today's meeting has been, I've been thinking about this when I was away for 3 months. Even though we still ran events, we did meetings, I was thinking, what is it that is holding people back, right? So we need to backtrace everything that we did, what that we've done in the past, Frida and myself, and make sure that you're able to replicate. So we believe we came up with a great solution, and many of the members, partners, were super excited when we brought this up to them. So let me tell you what this is all about. So this is what's going to happen today. Quick quiz. How many of you would like to be more successful? How many of you would like to be happier and have more joy in your life that you've had in the past? All of us, right? And finally, how many of you would like to make more money? All of us, right? That is why we're here, all of us. So this is what we're gonna do. My goal today is to pretty much blow your mind away. And the format of this meeting is gonna be as follows. So today I'm gonna share 3 things. My story, I'm gonna share the secret, and finally, the key for you to getting off to a fast start. And we're gonna divide this meeting into 2 meetings, okay? So we're gonna have a regular meeting, and then we're gonna take a break. So this meeting is gonna last about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna continue another meeting. This is gonna be extremely powerful. Just to give you a heads up, our power team, you're gonna meet our power team. So for those of you who join our group, who wanna work under our wings, you're gonna meet our power team, and today we wanna make sure that you build joint ventures, partnerships, okay? So we wanna take it to the next level, because when we reverse engineer everything we did, I was able to piece together the puzzle and find out what the missing pieces were, because we give you a lot of training, right? You attend so many meetings, you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of you have a lot of money, a lot of you have a lot of time, but yet we're still not doing enough deals, right? So we figure out what we need to do to take it to the next level. So that's what we're gonna do today, okay? So let's start. My story, right? So this is Frida, my wife, so 4 kids. So about, I don't know, 5.5 years ago, I got fired from my job. So that was pretty depressing, because my ultimate desire was to support my family, for my daughters to be proud of me, have somebody to look up to, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I felt like a failure as a husband, and I was very depressed, very sad, because I couldn't support my family, and very quickly I fell behind my bills. Luckily, Frida, my wife, was able to support us, but that was not my ideal scenario. So she was very encouraging up until one time that she said, "Hey, Hugo, let's go to this 3-day event." So we ended up going to Andrew's 3-day event. And then at that point, she pushed me to go to the event, but I realized that there was still a light at the end of the tunnel. So I said, yes, let's figure out what these successful people have in common. So we reach out to the key players, people who have been extremely successful by doing consistent deals throughout the year, 25 and more. Not only that, but made money consistently in the last 5 years, and being able to be profitable throughout the last 5 years. So we figured out that they had 3 things in common. They had a great deal, they understood basic analysis, and they had funding, okay? So what we ended up doing at the time, and with the mentors that I had, Frank, Andrew, Rahul, we ended up creating what you all know as ChicagoDealVault. So it's a real estate automation solution that obviously it helped us a lot. But not only that, the key point was that we were able to form strategic alliances, not only with partners, but also with investors, right? And that's what I want to make and emphasize, that it's super, super critical. You won't be able to make it alone. Real estate is a people's business, okay? And that has been the biggest mistake that I found people make, that they want to take it on, everything that you have to do in real estate, and then you defocus on what's really important. In real estate, you're gonna make money only when you make offers, when you talk to sellers, and when you talk to listing agents. Anything else that you do, guess what? It's overhead, but I acknowledge that it needs to be done. So what happened is the end result was that we up until today, we ended up purchasing 34 rentals, and we've done 3 flips in the last 3 years. Each property cash flowing between 300 and 500 or plus per door per month. So the end transformation in our lives has been that we are able to do what is truly meaningful in our life, okay? In my case, it's spending quality time with my daughters, with my family, and obviously traveling when we get the chance. So it's been extremely gratifying, and that is our story, my story in particular. But now it's not all about us, right? It's going to be about you. And that's what I want you to replicate. I want you to do what's truly meaningful in your life. If you want to take off time and travel for 2, 3, 4 weeks, I want you to be able to do that. And that's my commitment for you to be extremely successful. So today I'm going to give you and facilitate the keys for you to take it to the next level, right? Because we've been attending webinars, seminars, we've been all very proactive, but guess what? Still not enough. So I'm going to tell you exactly what we need to do to take it to the next level. So the next step is the secret. So this is what I was thinking while I was away for about 3 months. And I'm going to show you how we reverse engineer every single step of our rental empire for you to replicate, okay? Finding the missing pieces for you to take on and work together as a team. That's gonna be the critical piece. Just a second. The music on the background has started to play. You can hear that through the headphone. Okay, so this is me. About 2.5 years ago in West Virginia, we went on a trip with Andrew, Rahul, and his family. So it was amazing. He used to be, for those of you who don't know, he used to be a water drafting instructor when he was in college in West Virginia. So he knows the waters like the back of his hand, okay? So we ended up going there. That's me. I love the water. I love swimming. But guess what happened like a few seconds later? I was under, and believe me, this is not the best and the best place for you to take a swim, okay? It's not fun once you're in the water. But this is the message, right? We then ended up going with the instructor. So in the back, that's instructor, that's Andrew, that's Rahul, this is myself. These are other people who were at the time there. So when you join forces, right? And synergize among each other, you can go through the worst. Check that out. Do you see me anywhere? I'm nowhere to be seen, right? So where many of us are underwater, guess what? You can still make it okay. And that's exactly what real estate is all about. We're gonna struggle through many, many roadblocks, but we know by reverse engineering what we've done, what needs to be done, the pieces. So we created a roadmap for all of you to follow, which I'm going to describe today. So I'm going to tell you the biggest mistakes we all make and how we need to overcome them, and what we're going to do today to really take it to the next level. So when we started, step number 1, right? You need to have an entity. You need to have, you need all your ducks in a row. Pre-qualified, pre-approved to pull the trigger. When we started, we didn't have an entity. So we ended up making offers in our personal name. That didn't help with funding. Many Harmony lenders won't give you money under your personal name. It has to be under an entity. So that was mistake like number 1, right? Not having everything ready. We did get an approval later, but it was very expensive money. Okay, Harmony lender. So what we're going to help you today is the team that we use, you're going to meet today. Some of them, or most of them, are going to be able to come in person. Some will just join virtually, okay? So we'll run another meeting for them to join. Second and most, I would say, difficult pill to swallow was not understanding the marketplace, right? So we said, we'll just buy a property, we want to flip, we were so excited, right? We want to do a rental, without understanding that you have flipping markets and rental markets, not understanding what those areas afford. Instead of buying a rental in a really bad neighborhood, that contractors, we had a hard time getting them out there. When we got somebody to go there, then the rehab was horrible. The first tenant that we put in the property never paid a penny, so we ended up doing an eviction. So that was pretty bad. We ended up selling the property about a year ago. But it was just a bad experience because we didn't make much money. But that's because we did not understand the marketplace. And then we wanted to do a flip in Greenview. We overpaid for the property. We went over budget. We couldn't sell the property. We ended up keeping the property. It breaks even today, right? So mistakes that you cannot afford to make, because guess what? One mistake can wipe you out, okay? Especially when you're starting, or even if you're a seasoned investor, you don't want your gains to be wiped out in a big mistake that you make. So those are the things that we want to ensure that you don't go through. The second one is accessing deals, right? So we were working with brokers that were showing us properties, trying to work with wholesalers in a consistent basis. But one of the things that I did realize was that we were looking at many, many properties on a weekly basis. At the time, right, the inventory was better than today. But let me ask you this. How many of you have seen properties this week? In the last week, have you seen physically a property? Rich? Very few of you, right? So we realized that's one of the missing pieces, right? We can have a lot of knowledge, but if we're not out there looking at properties, right? How can we get a deal? And not only that, but now what I realized is that when we were looking at properties, we didn't even know what to look for, right? So we saw the property in pretty bad shape. We have no clue, right? How much is going to take to bring this up to code? Not only that, any issues that could be like big ticket items. We didn't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk and take you on group showings, right? It could be off-market MLS for you to see properties. And not only that, but we're going to bring an inspector and a GC that are going to tag along so that they can point out the big ticket items and give us an ballpark idea of what the rehab is going to be. Right? By doing that, we're going to have a really good assessment on the property. And on the back end, obviously, we have the tools to pull the comps to have an idea of what the ARV on the properties are going to be. So that's something that now we're going to, moving forward, we're going to help you with when it comes to accessing properties. Not only that, but right now we're on a daily basis sourcing off-market deals, MLS deals, and we sent alerts to you guys, some of you, but guess what? It ends there. Nothing is happening, right? So we're engaging the wholesale team. We have about over 50 people that are in the wholesale group, and we're actively now trying to get those properties on the contract. It's not easy, but the key is for all of us to work together. So that's one of the things that we're implementing today. And in fact, Ted and Carol, we're closely working with them because they're in the same boat. They're getting a lot of leads. They're taking it even a step further, right, to off-market sellers. So that's been powerful. Again, we still need to do everything together because we want to make sure that for those of you who are interested in buying properties, you have somebody, our team, our brokers that are looking for properties on your behalf actively. And not only that, but when we identify properties, we need to take you out there. So we realize we're giving you a lot of information, but it's sitting there. Why? I don't blame you because we're all so busy, right, in our lives, and we don't get to certain things and we can miss deals. So we're taking the next step and becoming accountable for your success. Therefore, we're ramping up the team. In fact, last week we hired, I'm a managing broker, so we hired 2 top brokers. They're going to be coming today to help you see properties, see great deals. And let me tell you, when I presented the idea of what we're about to do today to some of the key players, they were so excited that even one of them, he's a big player. He's big in the Chicagoland area. He said, Hugo, I just got these 4 properties off market. So we have already 4 properties off market. that we can present to you guys. So it's been super, super amazing, and we already have at least 5, 6 people joining what I'm about to show you. So even before I talk about it, people are super, super excited to join our efforts and make it extremely, extremely powerful. Let me pull up the PowerPoint. Okay, so the next road obstacle has been analysis. How many of you, when you look at a property and even you see the numbers, even if you're a broker, right? The first thing that comes to mind, okay, it's for sale for 100,000, but how much is this property worth once we fix it up? I mean, it's a challenge, right? It's like, well, if I pay 100,000, or would I make money? Would I lose money? We have no clue, right? So this is where we are spending our resources. We have a back-end team that all they do is deal analysis, deal vetting. So we are going to help you with the analysis, okay? For you to never make a mistake of overpaying for a property, because that can wipe out your profit, obviously. With analysis, not only with analysis, but also with understanding the most you should pay for a property. Because as you all know, there are hidden costs, such as carrying costs, operating expenses, the cost of money that you borrow. All those expenses, many investors oversee. Therefore, at the end of the day, they end up not making the money they expected. So we want to make sure that you are fully aware of what you're getting into before you pull the trigger. So we're going to be helping you with analysis. Next, so this is the first exit that you have in real estate, wholesaling. You have 3 exits. You either wholesale, you fix and flip, or you buy and hold. So wholesaling means that you have a property in the contract, and then you're going to just reassign the rights to that contract to an end buyer. So you're selling the contract to somebody else for a profit. So we're going to help you that, and we've been doing that in the wholesale team. When we help you, or you guys, or the whole team gets a property on the contract, we're going to help you market that property to our network. So obviously, you guys will have first preference. People from the inner circle, the cash flow inner circle, have first look at these deals. Wholesaling. The second thing, and this is one of the biggest issues, right, that a lot of people have, funding, okay? People not having enough money to buy properties. And it's super simple. I've talked to many lenders, and they all told me, Hugo, you've got to have reserves. There's no way around that. They need to mitigate the risk. I'm talking about hard money lenders, not private money lenders. So they say you need to have about 30, 40,000 in reserves to purchase a property. Many investors don't have that money, so they get discouraged. They quit real estate. But guess what? That's where we're going to step in, and we're going to facilitate the partnerships. In fact, even before I present what we're going to do together, we have already facilitated 3 partnerships. Okay, Zora, are you in the room? Oh, Zora. So for instance, Zora, I've been talking to her, and she told me, Hugo, this has been a challenge because I don't have enough reserves to buy a property, right? So I understand, but she's got the time, she's got the knowledge, but she's missing the reserves, the capital partner. So we were able to, for the people who previously told us they're interested in joining our team, they said, Hugo, I want to make a deal. So we hook up, we work with Zora and George, right? So they're going to be working together. And just like that partnership or joint venture, we're facilitating those. So at this point, even if you belong to the Cash Flow Inner Circle group, we give you everyone's contact information, but nobody's taking the next step. So we're going to step in. We're going to profile everyone who joins our group, and then we're going to say, okay, you're missing, you bring to the table, let's say, time and knowledge, but you're missing money. And let's say we have Rich, for instance. He may have the capital, or Jerry. So we're going to mix and match, but we're going to step in for you, right? Because I don't see that happening. So we're going to take you to the next level. Once we profile you, we're going to have a good idea of the areas, locations, goals that you guys have, what you're bringing to the table, and what you lack. okay, so that we can facilitate the partnerships. Now, when we talk about partnerships or joint ventures, primarily we're focusing on either flips, which would be the best type of partnership because you're in and out, or rentals. Rentals, it's a little bit more challenging because rentals is a long-term investment, right? But for sure on flips, we want to make sure that you capitalize yourself, meaning raise capital by doing flips, doing partnerships, and that's just the way to grow. But we're going to take the aggressive step to step in and do the joint ventures or suggest the joint ventures on your behalf, right? Because even when you're here all together, you don't know who's sitting next to you, right? Even though you might be part of the cash flow or the wholesale inner circle, you don't know each other. That's where we're gonna come into place and say, listen, you're gonna join our team, we're gonna take you to the next level, but we're gonna profile every single one of you, and then we're just gonna piece the dots. It's gonna be super simple. I'm telling you, last week we established 3 joint ventures already. So it's been super, super powerful. Like Zora, Mary, is she here? Mary Peña, she might be online. And also Ram. Ram. So you also have a partnership already, a joint venture established before we even started the program. So this program, what I'm about to show you today, is new. This came into existence about a week and a half ago, and it's gained so much momentum by the partners, by the members. I'm super excited about this. I have faith that this is what, it's never been done. Let me put it this way. It's never been done, and I think it's the missing piece that everyone needs to take your real estate investment efforts to the next level, because that's what we did, or that I had been thinking over, my vacation or time off. What are the missing pieces? And that's what we came up with this project that I'm going to explain to you in more detail. Now, the fixing, the rehabbing, this is the biggest nightmare for all investors. Biggest, because contractors nowadays, not only are they expensive, unreliable, they don't finish the project on time. So now, what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna step in and share our power team, okay? We have reliable contractors that we've been working for the last few years. We have also reached out to some of our partners, and they have brought us a few contractors that are very reliable. So we're gonna make those available to everyone. So it's gonna be about sharing, okay? It's gonna be about sharing, no exclusivity of any type, okay? We're gonna be sharing because again, I don't want you to reinvent the wheel, right? Because time is of essence. Time is an asset, intangible asset that can never come back, okay? Money will replenish, but time will not. So I wanna make sure that you don't spin your wheels and you utilize what works and the people that have made us successful. So the fix and flip, we're gonna have a list of contractors, preferred contractors. In fact, one for sure is gonna be joining online, another one might come a little bit later. Next, the actual flip, selling the property, right? So we have identified few of the top brokers, and we're gonna go a step further to identify the top agents in the areas where you're gonna sell your flip, okay? We are now expanding our brokerage. As I told you, we brought in 2 brokers, 2 top brokers into our team, investor friendly, but we don't wanna, let's say, take over and say you need to list with us. No, we're gonna give you options. We have top brokers in-house, but you also have a couple of brokers that are top brokers in the area that you want to sell your flip. That's going to be super critical to work together with them. In fact, that's what we've been doing in the last week and a half, establishing relationships with those top brokers, right? Not only to source deals, but also to build that relationship with them. So we're going to, again, step into this area that before we didn't do anything, right? So we're gonna help you with that as well. And finally, the buy and hold, right? So buy and hold is where the true wealth of real estate comes into place, owning rentals. Oh, Mary, right? Mary Peña? Oh, Mary? Oh, Mary, yeah, perfect. Okay, so Mary also established another partnership already before starting the program, okay? So I want to do partnerships even today with every single one of you today. So I brought the questionnaires right here. Oh, I have them in the back that I would like for those of you who want to join, fill out the questionnaires. I want to establish partnerships today. I want you to be successful today. I don't want this to be just a sitting learning event. I want this event to be an event that you're going to take action on, that you're going to have actionable steps to take towards your success, not in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but today. That's my objective. We're going to become extremely aggressive, and I want to become your accountability partner moving forward. So with the buy and hold, the biggest mistake that I've seen is that people who buy a rental, they want to self-manage. Okay, that's also the biggest pain to deal with, tenants, right? I don't want to hear tenants in the middle of the night about a leaky toilet, right? You want to delegate that to a property management company that does it professionally better than you will. So, you know, I've talked to a couple of investors and they say, Hugo, what would you recommend? How many rentals would I need to have before I delegate these to a property management? I say, the first rental, delegate that. Because are you going to be making money when you manage tenants' issues? Of course not. What about collection? No. What about it's just a big pain. So we're going to give you access to the property management companies that we use. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we use them. So throughout the entire roadmap in real estate, as you can see, there are roadblocks after roadblocks after roadblocks. We've been able to find solutions for every single one of them. And that's what I want to make available to you. And not only that, but since we reverse engineer our success, we know what we did in the past, and now I don't want to leave that up to you to do, because it may not happen. So technically, we're going to spoon feed you, if that's what it takes, right, for you to really take it to the next level. But again, we're going to emphasize our work on joint ventures. That's extremely critical, okay? Because we cannot make it by ourselves in real estate. You have to have synergies with other people. Even if you believe that we have everything, that we may have resources, partners, money, perhaps we don't have all the time of the world, right? So we all need a partner, and that's what I want to accomplish today, for all of you to walk away with a joint venture in place, okay? So now, in the past 15 minutes, would you agree that it's been time well spent? By the way, I love the beach. Can't cover everything, obviously, in an hour, but that is why we're going to divide this meeting into two. Next, I'm going to give you a very special offer for those of you who decide to take on my offer for us to give you absolutely everything that you need to be successful. Next, and obviously if you act fast on this deal, we're going to give you extra bonuses. So it's super, super exciting. Now, the key for you to get off to a fast start, that is, let us take us under our wings. Okay, that's going to be critical, right? Because in the past, we've given you technology, we've given you leads, we've given you training, but yet I still don't see the success that you should accomplish as of now, right? We've been at this for the last 2-3 years together, so now it's time for us to step in, right? That's what I realized. We need to, if we need to spoon feed you, so be it, but we will make it happen starting today, not tomorrow. Life is short. We never know. So I want you to be able, like we did, if you want to take 3 months off, go for it, right? You don't need to think about anything, but yet you still have passive income coming in. And you're going to accomplish that through teamwork, synergies, joint ventures. Okay, that's the only way. So now, let's quickly summarize. So I told you my story. To the secret, right? How we reverse engineer our rental empire in simple steps for you to replicate. And that's what we're going to put in practice today. That roadmap that we went over, we're going to put it in practice today. Next, the key for you to get off to a fast start. Okay, let us take us under our wings. So now, before we wrap up, You might feel like I give you a lot of information, right? But did you feel like you learned something today? Remind you of at least something today? Right. So you might be wondering, how can we take you under our wings, right? That's the big question. So let me show you. What? What's so funny? I want you all to become a deal maker moving forward. Okay, a deal maker. That's what you're gonna be called, a deal maker. Not a dabbler, a deal maker. Okay, it's been enough of monkeying around. We need to take it to the next level. That's it. Okay, there's no other way around it. Okay, either you take action today or you better quit real estate. Right? That's it. There's no other way. You take action today. Tomorrow may never come. So let me tell you how we're gonna do it. Okay. Let me connect the audience back up. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. So encouraging. I listen to that. Say that again, Jerry. I know, right? I mean, I love that. Okay, so this is what we're gonna have. What you will have happen for you.
You're muted, Hugo.
Does it sound better now?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so you are going to, you're going to meet him today. Not only that, but guess what? I'm going to have you fill out an application today, right? I want you to get vetted by him today. So he's got an online form that you need to fill out. It's super simple. It's just a soft hit, but that's a step that we need to take. All of you, right? All of you who decide to join. If you don't have funding, for those of you who have funding, approval letters, then you're a step ahead. Okay, but for those of you who don't, we are going to take it to the next level with funding. Then establish partnerships. That's what I want to accomplish today. Do the quick speed networking, fill out the questionnaire, and pair you up so that you end up with a joint venture today when you leave. Okay. Next, exclusive access to our power team. They're coming today. Some of you are already here, and that's going to be the most, I would say, important, or one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, right? Not having the right people working for you can make you or break you. It is that simple. If you work with the wrong attorney, can make your deal go sour. If you work with the wrong inspector, you can miss out big ticket items that when you purchase a property, you don't make the profit you should. Brokers, right? Brokers, right? You may leave money on the table when selling your flip, or you may overpay for a property. How about contractors, right? That's the biggest risk today. Not having the right contractor that can stall your project for months, costing you tons of money, thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. So that's super critical to have the right people working for you. Next, Obviously, you're going to be more successful. You're going to have more joy, happiness in your life, and obviously, we're all going to make more money. That's the objective. So, who is this good for? Whether you want to do wholesaling, flipping, buy and hold, build $1 million empire, this applies whether you're seasoned or newbie in this game. Okay, we all need something. Even if we are seasoned, we need something, whether more deals, whether funding, because at some point in the last 2-3 years, we got wiped out in our bank account, right? For some unexpected issues that we ended up having, there are going to be times that you always are going to need something one way or the other, either funding, either deals, either time, or knowledge. We never finish learning. We always learn something, but we're going to do it as we go. That's going to be the critical piece, right? So not so much in class, but we're going to be out in the field. So this is what we're going to do, what we came up with. Access potential deals, buying tour. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up 8 to 10 properties on a Sunday, November 14, right? And take you there. When we take you to the properties, as I said before, we'll have an inspector and a GC tag along so they can give you a good assessment on the property. But we're going to spend about 30 minutes, 45 minutes on each property. So we're going to continue to do this. But what I realized is that we may not wait till November 14. Like we have 4 off-market properties today, right? That, we ran the numbers, they have equity. So we may not need to wait. We're going to need to do a showing for those properties way before this buying tour, okay? Because deals are going to come as we go, and we need to be ready to take on. So we're going to notify you. So the way we're doing it is we need 3 to 5 areas of interest from you that we're going to be focusing on to source deals, okay? When we find those deals, we cannot wait for the next buying tour, okay? We're just going to schedule the showing and boom, take you see the properties. Does that make sense? So that's the buying tour. Value is huge on this one. Okay, so we're gonna have a small group of people go to the buying tour. The next one is dedicated in-house broker. So we hired 2 brokers last week that are gonna be helping you with finding great deals. Okay, not only are we gonna be doing our sourcing on the back end, but they're going to schedule the showings on these properties for you to see, whether they're off market or MLS. Either way, we won't discriminate, right? If it's a good deal, we will take you to see these properties. So in fact, I just got the combo box for the 4 properties that I mentioned. So as we speak, we could schedule the showing for those properties next week, okay? So that's what's gonna be happening. Their main role for them is to show you the properties. Not only that, but we're working with the inspector trying to negotiate if he can do some sort of like bulk inspections on for us, but they're going to be light inspections. Just I want him to focus on the big ticket items. What are the things that are really wrong on this property? I don't want him to do a full blown out inspection because it takes like 2 hours. No, we just want him to point out the big ticket items on the showings. The next thing that we're going to do is, what else would you need? Funding, right? So that's going to happen today. So for the funding, that's going to be the bonus number 1. We're going to help you secure funding one way or another. Like for instance, let's talk about Zora's example, right? Her reserves are good, but perhaps not what she would need to buy a property. So we're going to help her pair up, do a joint venture with somebody who's got the reserves and may not have the time. Zora does have the time. So that's how we're going to create the joint venture, okay? The question is, now what's the next step? The next step is for that joint venture to work together, right, towards a common goal. Is this going to be for flip, for rental? And then we're going to go over today the details of what goals you guys have in mind and how we can pair you up. But you have to have that joint venture in place. And in fact, like for instance, let me give another example. Sixto, right? Sixto just bought a property recently in Lansing, but he partnered up with David Myers, and also Embray. So Embray is here, so they did a partnership together. So this is what we're gonna focus on. They did that themselves as part of the CASHFLOW Institute group, but now we're gonna be, as I said before, more aggressive and step in and actually facilitate the partnerships because we're gonna profile every single one of you in more detail for us to put you guys together. So in this case, like Sixto, he's got, he lined up the funding. David found the deal. David is managing the entire rehab, right? And then Emret is helping also with some of the expenses for the rehab. Is that right, David? So that's a perfect example, right? For instance, if David was not ready or didn't have the entire reserves to purchase the property, it's okay. But he's got the time, he's got the experience, he knows the numbers, he's got the contractors, right? That's what you need to do, right? To do a deal, to get a deal under your belt. And that's what we need to facilitate for all of you moving forward. You need to work with other investors because it's practically impossible for one individual to have it all. Even very experienced investors don't have it all, including ourselves. We have to work with other investors. We have several joint ventures in place. The last 2, 3, 4 deals were joint ventures. Why? Because we were missing a piece of the puzzle. We're going to do exactly the same for you, okay? So that's going to be a big piece of the puzzle, helping you get funding. So for instance, with funding, let's say Zora may not have the reserves to get a pre-approval letter for 200,000, 300,000, right? But when she's got a joint venture, then that's going to happen for her because when she's on a joint venture, maybe let's say Elena buys the property, she has a joint venture with Zora, and they're both going to work together on it. Either she manages the rehab, whatever she can bring to the table will add up to a successful transaction. So the next bonus that we're going to give you is, what else do you think you'll need? Joint ventures, and that's what I just covered, right? So we're going to step in and facilitate these joint ventures. Again, we already have 3, but I want you all to walk out with a joint venture today, okay? Not tomorrow, today. Next one. Am I forgetting one thing? Of course. Bonus number 3, exclusive access to our team. And not tomorrow, not in a few days, today. You're gonna meet them. So in the second session, the second meeting, some are gonna come in person, others are gonna join. So I'm gonna put the biggest screen, we're gonna share the video so that you can see them, meet them virtually, and obviously start working with them today, not tomorrow, again, today. That's gonna be extremely powerful, never done before. So again, let's go over what we are going to get, what we're going to work on together. So number 1, access great deals through the buying tour and also continuous sourcing of deals, MLS off market, utilizing our in-house brokers and backend team to source deals for you and schedule showings on your behalf, okay? So we will schedule the showings on your behalf. So for those 4 properties that we currently have available off market, we will schedule the showings. We will invite the people who are interested in those areas, right? Or for those of you who join, today we're gonna say, okay, we have these 4 properties in these areas. Are you interested in these? Maybe you are not interested, or the areas that you gave us are, let's say, Des Plaines, Schiller Park, Rosemont, and this property might be in, let's say, Melrose Park. So we'll tell you, we have these properties available, but they're not in your areas of interest, but are you still interested in seeing the properties? If you're interested, boom, we invite you to the showing. So we'll do a group showing for those. So secure funding, again, that's gonna be accomplished today. So we'll have you fill out the application. You're gonna meet Vince today. Next, establish partnerships. Exclusive access to our power team. So all of that is happening today, okay? Live. So this is something that many people, when I talked to a few of you, I said, what should we price this at, right? So I had two options: to price it as cheap as possible and get as many people on board, or a little bit more expensive. So if it was too cheap, it would not incentivize anybody, right? Even to stack up the value that we're adding. The bonuses would be more expensive than the actual program itself, or price it up a little bit higher in exchange for us to allocate all our resources to give you absolutely everything that you need to succeed, right? Plus, we want to start working with a smaller group. By the way, half of the size of the group that we want to invite is sold out. Before I'm presenting today, half of it is sold out. So the spots are going to be limited. So this is the question for you, right? If all these did was to give you the final push, right, to make you more successful, would it be worth it? Is that a yes or a yes? Of course, right? Or if all these did was to actually give you the ability to do what's truly meaningful in your life, like to travel, spend quality time, I mean, with your loved ones, whatever you want, would it be worth it? Is that a yes or a yes? Of course, right? Or if this was to give you only one home run deal, right, where you can strike 40, 50,000 in equity, I mean, would it be worth it? Just one deal. Is that a yes or a yes? Absolutely, right? So that's our objective. And then, so you see why one, this is a question for you. What's one home run deal worth to you? Okay, see 10,000, 20, 30,000. Let me tell you, every property that we have averages about 50 to 60,000 in equity, right? So about 25%, they all have an average ARV somewhere in between 200 to 250. So we end up with 50 to 60,000 in equity on each property. So the question is, how much is that worth to you? What is one successful home run deal worth to you? So imagine if I was to charge you today, imagine 10,000 in exchange for you to get a home run deal worth 40, 50,000. Would you exchange 10,000 to get a 50,000 in equity on a property? Of course, right? All day long. I would do it 100 times, infinity, right? Of course. But no, we price it for the general public at 3,000. However, I've been asked to give you a special gift for all of you here today. So today is going to be $19.97 to join the program, to become a deal maker. And we will have a 3% purchase price of the purchase price consulting fee at closing. Okay, so we're going to facilitate everything from A through Z. And if we help you get a property on the contract, let's assume not on the contract, closed, we will tag a 3% consulting fee. So for instance, these 4 off-market properties that we have available, if we help you end up buying those properties, when you close on them, we're gonna tag a consulting fee of 3% on it. So if you end up buying it for, let's say 100,000, we're gonna tag 3,000 on it. And that's again to cover all our expenses, everything that we're doing on your behalf. So now you have 2 options, right? To do nothing, do not take this leap of faith, or to pony up this small investment today. Even if this works half of what I claim to it, right? I mean, it's gonna pay for itself. So you have 2 options today. I love these, right? I realize that there are two kinds of people in the room online, dabblers and doers. What's the difference? What's a dabbler? What's a doer? So dabblers, where I identify that those are people who like to sit, listen, learn, but they find every possible excuse not to take action, not to move forward. While the doers, they don't really know how it's going to work for them, but they've seen how it's worked for us and how it's worked for other people, and they have faith in themselves that it's going to work for them. Okay, so what I realized is that doers are the ones that really get ahead in life, while dabblers, they don't really seem to progress in life. But this is the cool thing. Today you have the option to choose. Do you want to become a dabbler or a doer? So I love these from, let me put it again with the here, Tony Robbins.
People have often asked me, how has my work evolved over the years? And, I start out with a very simple understanding that action is the key to everything. Even if you take the wrong action, if you keep changing your approach, you can succeed in anything. The problem is most people live in their heads. They have their dream, they have their goal, they have their desire, they get hyped up about it, they get fearful about it, and they just don't execute. It's an illusion that knowledge is power. Knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is trumped every single day by execution. And so everything in my life in the beginning was get people to take action. It's still a huge part of my DNA. But as the years have gone on, evaluate and understand.
I love that. Did you hear what the most important message was? A lot of people say knowledge is power, but guess what? Action trumps knowledge all day long. So you can have all the knowledge of the world. You can be a real estate dictionary, but if you don't take action, as he said, even if it's not the right action, you're going to tweak it every single time. That's what's going to get you to your goal. Every day you'll be closer. And that's what we've done, right? We execute like no tomorrow, right? We've made a lot of mistakes, and that's what I want to prevent from you to make all the mistakes we made, right? That is why we laid out this road map for all of you to follow so that you get your next deal done as soon as possible. So money replenishes. This is super important. As all of you know, most of you get paid every 2 weeks. You pay all your fixed expenses. Whatever is left, we call that disposable income. A lot of you blow it out on things that you love, right? There's nothing wrong with it. But the cool thing is that every 2 weeks, boom, you get another $1,000, for instance, in disposable income. But this is the key, friends. You have to invest in services, products that are going to help you build your real estate career in a meaningful way, okay? And this is the key. Money replenishes, right? We make money, we lose money, but time does not replenish. Time is gone. So you can spend months, years out of your valuable time trying to figure this out, to piece it together, and guess what? You will never get that time back. But instead, you should save that time and effort. Why? Because we have already spent it for you and work directly with us. It's going to cost you a small investment on your end, but you'll get that money back. Whereas the time spent away from your family in trial and error is wasted effort and is gone forever, right? So time is so critical. That is why I want you all to take action today, to walk away with a joint venture and walk away with a connection with a hard money private funding lender today, okay? I want you to be able to start making offers next week. When we make an offer, it has to have credibility. And for that, you need a pre-approval letter, okay, of some sort. Or if you don't have that one, you need to have a joint venture in place so that next week you start seeing properties, making offers, okay? So this is what you all are going to get. Access to potential deals, securing funding, established partnerships. That's a huge value, right? So we're charging not even 2% of that. And if you think about it, I was thinking about the numbers. So if we own 37 rentals, I ran the numbers quickly, 34 times, let's say, being extremely conservative, 50,000 on each, 50, 60,000. So that's close to 2 million in equity. 10% of that is 200,000. 1% of that is 20,000. So 2,000 is 0.01%. Would you exchange the 0.01% for even 1% of the equity we accumulated in the last 3 years? Is that a yes or a yes? Does that make sense? So even if you accomplish 5% of the results we have accomplished, and there's no reason for you not to accomplish more. Why? Because we went through a lot of roadblocks that I don't want you to go through. So we're laying out the roadmap for you to avoid making big mistakes and taking the right steps. So there's no reason for you, if we went through the hard route, for you not to accomplish similar results than what we've done. Obviously, we have the market challenges of the inventory being low, but guess what? This is the great news, and I'm super excited. You know, yesterday there was a mastery party, and you know, I met with this good friend of mine last night over there. He's a powerhouse, right? And especially when him and his partners, I mean, they're the third largest buyer of judicial sales properties. He told me that November 22nd, this is internal information, November 22nd, they're gonna open up all the judicial sales, vacant properties, non-vacant, so they have already lined up 755 properties that are going to auction November 22nd, so next month. So that's a good sign, right? That things are going to happen. Distressed properties are going to start recycling back into the market. So we're going to see more inventory in the upcoming months, perhaps until next spring, next summer, but at least things are going to happen very soon. And guess what? You need to be ready when the time comes. You need to be able to pull the trigger. Because imagine if you have 100 properties that are awesome deals, but you're not ready to pull the trigger. You don't have a joint venture in place. You don't have funding lined up. What good does it do, right? You're just gonna sit and watch other people make a ton of money. Do you wanna sit and watch? No, you need to be part of the action. Does that make sense? You need to become a deal maker for you to really make it happen. And it's not gonna be only you. We all are gonna be accountable. We're gonna step in and facilitate these joint ventures and funding ventures for us to really take advantage of the tsunami wave that is coming next year. Okay, we're gonna have an increase in inventory like you won't believe. Just an example, we have our partner Jacob from Texas giving us the shadow inventory. We're getting maybe sometimes 60 properties, 100, 50, 25 on a weekly basis, whereas before we were getting 1,700 up to 1,000 a week. We bought no less than 8, 9 properties, backed on properties from him. And that's going to come back again next year. So you have to be ready, right? Tsunami wave, you have to be ready. You have to be able to have everything in place so that you are not just sitting and watching other people make money. You have to be part of the action. There's no other way around. Otherwise, you should quit real estate today. That's it. Don't waste your time. You won't make it alone. I can guarantee that. That is why you've got to start working today with other people. And therefore, I said, I don't want any more monkey business. You're going to meet our team, and we're going to walk away with joint venture agreements in place. Okay, I want you all to work together. As you saw, right? David, Emre, Sixto, they have a great deal going on right now. Elena, right? She got a great deal recently. That, by the way, Elena, you have a certificate that I want to give you for the great deal that you just got in Chicago. So please, everyone, give Elena a big round of applause. And we have a lot of certificates here for people that are killing it. So congratulations, Elena. So unlike her, a lot of people could not join today physically. They might be online, like Ray. He also got a great deal. We closed on a property last Friday in Naperville, off-market deal. So everyone is doing deals, right? I don't want you to sit back and watch other people make money. It's time for you to be part of the action. That's it. There's no other way around. And for that, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. That is why we brought everything together and put it all together. So imagine once you get all set up, you can say goodbye to the headaches and the stress of trying to find deals, trying to get deals, trying to get funding, right? Imagine what would your life be when instantly all those headaches go away? How would you feel? What would you do with that extra money or that extra time, right? What would your family think of you, right? So we want to say goodbye to all the headaches that you've been dealing with in the last 2, 3, 4 years that we've been working together, okay? So we're going to do something super ninja, right? For the first 10 people. Again, as I said, I would like to get only 10 people sign up for the upcoming buying tour. We already have 5 or 6 who sign up even before I explain in such a detail what I'm doing for you today. So we're gonna do something super, super ninja only for the first 10 people. So it's a value of about $10,000. So this is what we're gonna do for the first 10 people. So we're gonna give you access for the next 6 months to our weekly live mastermind that we hold. This is where we do deal reviews, deal analysis. You can pitch your deal, or if you have a property that you are pursuing, we can help you with it. Like the other day, we actually called live the seller, right? And I think Mirtha is following up with the seller. We left a voicemail to find out how motivated that seller was. So we're gonna do this for the next 6 months, give you free access. That's a value of about 5,000. The next thing that we're gonna give you is we put together online training for both CASHFLOW and Wholesale. So we're gonna give you free access for the next 6 months on these. So it's just amazing training. I personally recorded 5 to 7 minute videos because I hate long videos. I can't watch long training videos. I get bored. So these are very short to the point videos. Next, I'm publishing a book next month. So you'll get a free copy of the book. So the title is How to Go From Learning to Earning in the Next 90 Days. So all the secrets and the roadmap that I'm sharing with the ones who sign up today are gonna be some of those secrets in this book. So I'm super excited about these. I've been working with the publisher for the last 5 months, and it's coming to completion in the next month. So we're in the last review before it gets published. It's gonna be in the digital version, physical version, everything except Audible. So we're super excited about these. So you're gonna get a copy of this free ticket, this free book. And then we're gonna have a one-on-one session with me, right? I've talked to some of you over the phone a few times, but I wanna meet with you one-on-one, either through a Zoom or in person. You know, I like Cocoa Blue in Arlington Heights. I love that place. So I've met many of you there. Even my wife, Frida, you meeting somebody in Cocoa Blue? I said, no, I don't have any meetings today. So she says, okay, let's go for coffee there. So I'm gonna meet you in person, one-on-one, because it makes a big difference. I wanna fully understand where you are, where you wanna go, and then what pieces you're missing. So we'll do that one-on-one, and then Dealmaker's Handbook, okay? And t-shirt. So today you're gonna get the handbook. So this is the Dealmaker's Handbook. So we spent a lot of time putting this together. The team worked overtime to do this. By the way, thank you, Natalia, feel lovely to put this together. So it's got pretty much the roadmap that we talked about, and not only that, but inside the workbook, so it has the main key points that you have to master in the right sequence. It's got all the top flipping and rental markets, because moving forward today, you're gonna need to give us 5 areas. So you need to decide what you wanna do. You wanna do rentals, you wanna do flips, a combination of both. So we're giving you right here the top flipping and rental markets for the city of Chicago and from the suburbs, because we need to start moving forward as of today, right? We're gonna start sourcing deals for you depending on the areas, but you need to pick the right areas. And that was our first mistake. We wanted to do a flip in a rental market and vice versa. And you really need to understand these. That is why we laid out the areas that you need to focus on. That's a step number 1, okay? But even before you look at these areas today, you need to have the corporation and the funding lineup, which we're gonna take care of today. So you're gonna meet our broker today. So all the areas, so there are quite a lot, and we give you just a quick summary, and then we even have another workbook with all the shortcuts, all the step-by-step process. I love this workbook that has helped us, and even today, I reference this workbook quite often, right? So it's got slides, notes, so it's something that is gonna guide you through step-by-step of what you need to have in place. And not only that, but we just designed this week the latest property sheet. It's in the handbook. Property sheet repair estimate. Actually, property sheet estimate. Okay, it's super simple, but yet very powerful. In here, we have a section that has our shortcuts and rule of thumb when computing estimates for rehabs. So we have the light, the medium, and the gut rehab, right? How much we need to multiply the square footage by, what areas or things in the house are considered light, what are medium, what are gut rehabs. So it's gonna give you a really accurate ballpark idea of what it would take to do the estimate. And certain things that you have to, I mean, for every single property, you have to fill every single item for you to have a good assessment of the property. So when we go on the showings, you're gonna need to fill this out. So that's the handbook, the t-shirt. Next, we're gonna give you 1 month free access, or if you don't have it yet, or an extra month of ChicagoDealVault. So ChicagoDealVault has the deals, MLS access, and we're making some major improvements on it as we speak. So it's gonna become even more powerful. We added contracts, documents, cash buyers. It's got a lot of stuff. So you're gonna get all that. So breaking all habits. This is super critical. All habits are extremely difficult to break, okay? But this is the thing, right? If you don't take action today, you walk away. As I said before, if you don't have the right tools, you should quit real estate today. But I don't want you to do that because my guess is that if you walk away without taking action today, that you will slip back into your old habits. And you will continue to do what you've always done. And that's what most people would do. But because I'm your friend, your mentor, I want to help you break out of those old habits. I want to make sure that you are successful today. And if you want real lasting change in your life, you need a repeated exposure to the full system, to the deal makers. And that's what you're gonna get today when you sign up. So Sol also, it's part of the, hi Sol, CASHFLOW. She's been very active and done great with us. So I want to help you take the next step. So this is what you all are going to get. Let's just put it all on the screen so that you know what the next step is, only for the next 10 people, right? So you're going to have access to potential deals through our in-house brokers, also bus tours. I mean, not bus tours, buying tours, okay? In addition, we won't wait for the buying tour. We're going to schedule group showings ahead of time, depending on the deals that come up, okay? So that's going to be super critical. The funding, we're going to take care of it today, and access our power team starting today, okay? And the joint ventures that we want you to walk away with today, for those of you who are online and also in person. And then only for the first 10 people are going to get the bonuses that we described before. Access to the mastermind, weekly calls, the training for the cash flow, the wholesale, the book, the t-shirt, the handbook, the whole 9 yards. So I want to make sure that I give you absolutely everything that you need to succeed. So what we're going to do next is, so it's 2:18. We're going to start the sign up. Again, half of it is sold out. So we'll just take limited spots left. So what we're going to do next, we're going to start the sign up. So we're going to have only 15 minutes to do the sign up. And then after that, I'm going to hand you the questionnaire, okay? Because when our power team comes in about an hour, you all need to have this questionnaire filled out, okay? I'm going to give you your handbook. You're going to need to take action today. So we're going to have 1 hour to do that before the power team comes. When the power team comes, then you all need to have a really good idea of what areas you want to invest in. You're going to meet the power team, and we're going to start to do the partnerships, the joint ventures, as we speak today. So you're going to need to fill out the questionnaire, the profiling questionnaire. So I'm going to meet you, but all of these only for $19.97, okay? Now, so I'm going to meet you in the back. For those of you who are ready to take your real estate investment efforts to the next level, and for those of you, so we're going to allocate only 15 minutes for this sign up, 2,000, okay, 2,000 to join the deal makers. I'm going to give you your handbook, your t-shirt today, and that's it. So now, most of you, if you already are members of DealVault, we have your credit card on file. So all you need to do, I'm going to put it on the next screen, to sign up. If you already have access to DealVault, we have your credit card. send a text message to 818-818 with the keyword success, and then your name, your email, and then we'll charge your credit card today, $2,000. Okay, and then that's simple. You don't need to go to the back. You can do it right now from your phone. But if we don't have you in the system, then we need to use the iPads in the back. But again, if you're in the system, you can just send a text message to 818-818-SUCCESS, and you can even say, I'm in, and we have all your contact information. So your credit card, your billing, everything, so we'll just charge your card $2,000 today. So guys, so we have 15 minutes to do this exercise. If you have any questions, please meet me in the back and I'll be able to answer your questions, okay? But when we have half of the spots are sold out.
Hugo.
For those of you online, if you can just take the next 15 minutes, we'll take a break and then we'll reconvene after 15 minutes.
Hugo, if we're online, how do we sign up?
Yes. Okay, if you're online, just send a message to 818-818 with the keyword success, and you're gonna get a link to sign up. Just do it via text, and then you'll sign up that way.
Hugo, is
So
this
send
extra
the text message.
If I'm already a member of the inner circle, is this extra for inner circle and
if you're already
wholesale?
a member, yeah, if you're already a member, just text to 818-818 the keyword success and say "mean," and that's it. I mean, and then we'll charge your credit card today, $2,000. Now, Phil is on the line. Phil, can you, he's gonna handle the online questions, but I'm gonna be in the back answering questions and then I'll be right back. Phil, can you please answer questions online? Are there any other questions online that I can answer before I walk to the back-end table? Any other questions online?
So if you want to use a different credit card than on file, what do I do?
Yeah, if you want to use a different credit card, please send us a text message that you are in and say new credit card, and then we're going to call you. Lovely is online. She's going to call you right now. So if you want to use a different credit card, then send still a text message, 818-818, with the keyword success, and they say in new credit card, and then Lovely is going to call you right back.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the back table to meet everyone, and then please sign up. Lovely, if you can please call people who sent a text and say I'm in, but if they need a different credit card, okay? And then I'll be right back. So we'll reconvene in 10 minutes, okay? In about 10 minutes, please, everyone online, remain online. I'm gonna be back in 10 minutes. So either you take a break and then we are going to come back in 10 minutes. For those of you who join, then we are gonna send you the link to meet our power team in person here and also online. Okay, so we'll reconvene in 10 minutes.